Hello, everybody, and welcome to this IGEL Community webinar. I'm quite excited about this one. We have Tricerat that I've known for many, many years with us today to share sort of their view of printing in the endpoint and what's going on with it, what's changing, how they help address those issues and things of that nature. So we have Andrew Parlette with us. Andrew, you there?
Yes, hi Doug. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm very good. Okay, let's get going. What do you think? You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so go ahead and flip the slide. Okay, real quick, I just want to talk about the IGEL community. I know most people who listen to it nowadays are IGEL community members. We have a couple thousand plus members now. I think 2,100 or even it's so many I lose count, which is really neat because we have a great group of guys and gals all sharing information. And really, at the end of the day, what we wanted to do at IGEL was we understand that really the power of what we do is our customers and our partners, right? Like I said, mentioned our ISV partners and our hardware vendor partners, but also our channel partners, our integrators, our consultants, our evangelists, and of course our customers. And we wanted to bring those all into one sort of room, so to speak, and allow them to collaborate, to learn, to talk with each other, to ask questions, to share cool things. And so that was sort of the goal. And what was amazing is it's working. And today we have something we call the IGEL Community. We run it through Slack. So if you're familiar with Slack, it's a great sort of messaging, instant messenger, forum software slash email all mixed into one with a bunch of other things to allow you to really amazingly collaborate. So this is what we're doing in a nutshell, and we would love you to join. Andrew, one more, flip the slide. But when I talk about, as I just talked about it, I sort of mentioned the Slack a lot, and that's where that's where we do messaging. That's where we chat, ask questions, things like that. But there's a bunch of other information that we share within the IGEL community. If there's anything new, we share that. If there's new products, new updates, new patches, new security issues, new white papers, anything, you'll get that right away. Key resources, we store this those type of information on a website also, so you can just go up there and see what the latest build of the IGEL OS is or the release notes, and boom, it's all nicely organized. Events, white papers, getting started guides, we have all this stuff. Polls, we're doing bi-monthly polls on the IGEL community, which is really interesting, where some of the results we're seeing is, are you interested in DaaS? A simple question like that, and the result was quite, it surprised me, to be honest with you. And of course, meeting the alliance partners, things like this. So no, go ahead, flip the slide. So we want to get to you, Andrew, anyway. So also, if you're new to IGEL, if you join this webinar, let's say for Tricerat, please check out the what's new to, or if you're not new to, or if you are new to IGEL. Anyway, definitely check out the white paper, What's New in the IGEL Software Suite 2019. I wrote it and it'll explain exactly what we're doing, or I don't know, in my view, in my words, in my language. So how do you join? Join.igelcommunity.com. That's simple. I think you guys will love it. So please join. Next slide. And lastly, I just want to say real quick a little bit about IGEL. And we just sort of came out with this rebranding to calling the IGEL OS the Next Gen Edge OS for cloud workspaces. I absolutely love this because I think this one little image right here, the slogan, it just hits the nail on the head, because that's what IGEL brings to the table. They bring not a thin client. They bring an operating system. And within that operating system is designed for a cloud workspace. It's designed to do one thing really well, and that's connect you to the future or connect you to today. It's not an old operating system retrofitted and patched every Tuesday, right? It's one it's simple, it's secure, it's smart, it's powerful. It's an operating system, and you can even install applications on it through custom partitions. Otherwise, everything's simple, drag and drop, point and click through a nice, centralized management tool. It's just a beautiful thing. So hopefully you know what IGEL is. If not, we'll definitely teach you more in the future, or join the IGEL community. We'll share a lot with you. But I just want to say just a quick second about that because I absolutely love this next gen Edge OS because when I came to the company, that's what I saw and I was like, wow, this is a full-fledged operating system. This is really amazing. So that being said, Andrew, one more slide. And before Andrew takes over, last thing I wanted to say, like I mentioned, you know, the IGEL, it's an operating system. But what's important, or what an operating system does, is allows you to install applications and do work on. Right? Really, it's an API layer for communicating from applications to your storage devices. So what makes us special is the amount of integrations and the great partnerships we have with our ISVs and our hardware vendors. And you see a bunch of these guys on the slide here. And then also today we have Tricerat, which is going to be very soon one of our latest additions to the embedded technology. So on that note, Andrew, are you ready? I'm done rambling. I'm late.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so let's talk Tricerat a little bit. Like Doug mentioned, we are working with IGEL of being integrated in that IGEL OS, and but there's a lot of joint customers that we have of environments using those IGEL clients and also the Tricerat print management. And then certainly a lot of opportunity there as far as the integration of all of the advantages that IGEL brings to the table of real ease of use and management and deployment. And then you can layer in a print management solution like Tricerat into that session management and really have a more complete management picture with the two combined. And so as we go through the presentation, we'll certainly talk about ways that happens. So real quick about Tricerat, in case you haven't heard of us, we've been around over 20 years. In fact, this summer we're celebrating 22 years in business. And the vast majority of that time we've been focused on printing and EUC, remote desktop, terminal servers, those type of things, and really just general Windows session management for when it comes to printing and scanning and other user environment topics that come up. And we're really focused on delivering a set of tools that really maximize administrator efficiency and reduce the amount of time that you have to spend on what are frankly mundane tasks of assigning printers to users. But so many times that really takes up a lot of time. And there's ways and opportunities to really reduce that time and to enhance the user environment. Ultimately, as administrators, we're trying to put forward a great user experience, a way to maximize our end user productivity through the systems and services we're delivering. And so this is a tool that can really help deliver on that promise as you're looking to architect these environments. So this slide really answers the question of why. And so why printing? Like ultimately you can assign a printer to a Windows desktop and print, sometimes that's just something that seems run of the mill. Why do you need a print management solution? And like I started to talk about in that last slide, there's really, when you start expanding the complexity of environments and you have different platforms, different management systems, a whole slew of different connection options, oftentimes what seems like that simple thing of adding a printer for a user becomes a very complex thing and something that does take a lot of time. So, ultimately this is a add-on solution. And so we need to look at ROI. What can you really get in return? What's the value that can be delivered by purchasing and adding a solution like this into your environment? Well, we look at the true cost of printing. A lot of times, sure, we buy printers and consumables like ink and paper and whatnot. But when you look at the administrator time, the time it takes for users to call up the help desk, maybe just to add in another printer, all that time can really be opportunities for savings, for adding efficiencies into the process, and really getting value back in terms of productivity by looking at one of these solutions. So as we talk about a few of the features and a few of the ways that we add these solutions, you can think about ways that ultimately can save costs on printing and deliver that value back by delivering a better experience out to your users. And we look at hassle-free printing and better user experience and efficiency improvements. We've already been hitting on those as far as, can users handle their own printing? When they sit down, can we dynamically and in a smart way automatically deliver the right printer to the right user and the right device? And so that they don't even have to think about it, that they have the right thing there. Or if they need to add one, have a self-service option so that they don't need to call in the help desk. And we can really reduce significantly the amount of help desk calls, and then the amount of times like your Citrix and VMware and Microsoft administrators are spending time just managing printers or getting printers onto users' desktops. Those are ways that we can really drive value and drive benefit by using a print management solution. So let's look at a few of the points of functionality here, and this is just kind of touching on a few of the high-level things. One is utilizing your existing infrastructure. So we're going to layer on top of what you have, and even if you have a mix of things, different platforms, different application delivery methods, a mix of physical and virtual and mobile and cloud, as we hit on some of those specifics, what we're looking at is ways that we can layer on top of those existing environments really quite easily. And even if we're talking about adding a POC in to your environment, we'll pull in your existing print servers or your direct IP printers or your mobile printing. And so we'll combine all of that in a quick, easy way. And so we'll utilize those existing environments and really extend what you already have in place. And at the heart of it, we really are talking about driver management. Screwdrivers, our mainline product, is a virtual driver, so that when Screwdrivers is installed on, let's say, a virtual desktop image, you have everything you need installed on that image. When a user logs in, the virtual driver is there, ready to mimic any other printer environment in the environment, be it a client printer or network printer. During that login process, we don't have to copy drivers or layer drivers into the image. Really plain simple. And this is just one of those big points of time savings of during the implementation, during the maintenance windows, really much more simple by not having to deal with driver management. You have to just put that driver either on a print server or in our database, and then we'll make sure that it works everywhere else across your endpoints. So obviously you can think about the time saving potential there. Now, as soon as we talk about virtual driver, a key question comes up of, okay, well, what are the limitations of that virtual driver? And one of the key pieces of functionality that Tricerat innovated on over the years is what we call advanced print features. And we have the ability to show the native driver interface even by using our virtual driver. And I'll show this in a few minutes, but we can now access all of the same print functionalities as you would with the native driver, but still using our virtual driver. And so when you're using VDI, remote desktop, even physical desktops, certainly cloud computing, those are all ways that now you can take advantage of the optimizations in a virtual driver, but still have full functionality for your printing. And we're talking about optimized performance really in a variety of ways. I mentioned that virtual driver is there, ready, has everything you need, so that when that login process is happening, we're just making a quick database call. We're not copying drivers down and installing those drivers and installing printers on the system, or running through a script or running through GPOs. We've got everything with a simple database call ready to go. The login completes much faster and the user has the printers that they need. And then you look at stability improvements from the print server to the desktop, optimized print path routing by leveraging our own protocol, compression and encryption. These are things that just really enhance the printing process across the environment. And then we get to just consistent user experience. We talked about that a little bit with the help desk calls. Can we deliver a common printing infrastructure when users have a variety of ways that they're getting their data and their application and the devices they use? We can make that seamless for the user and seamless for the administrator using our Simplify console. It just really enhances, takes that complexity that we talked about and really simplifies it and makes it much more simple and streamlined for both admins and for users. All right, so that's kind of the why and a little bit of our functionality. But this is now talking about how we deliver on those solutions. And these different bubbles show different ways. We have a comprehensive set of printing technologies, all managed through a single console. But again, it's really to look at those hybrid environments, whether we're talking hybrid between cloud and on-prem, or if we're talking about hybrid between different deployment techniques or different clients. These are different ways that administrators now have the tools necessary to layer onto your existing environment and choose the best possible solution for that environment and for your needs. So let's start with client printing, kind of the most simple. This would be where I'm connecting from a client up into a virtual desktop or terminal server session, which might be on-prem, might be in the cloud, but we're connecting the client printers that we have locally into that remote session. And this works across the environments, whether it's a Citrix session, Microsoft, WVD in the cloud, pretty much any of these type of things, we can build those client printers. And this is when talking with IGEL and the IGEL OS, traditionally this has been a Windows or Mac connected printer. And then with our work embedding into the IGEL OS, these can be clients connected onto your IGEL clients as well for when you're connecting into those Citrix or VMware or Microsoft sessions. So a quick scenario just to kind of point out a place we might use this. This is a healthcare hosting provider. So they're hosting a healthcare application and their clients are connecting into it. They have no management of the printers that those clients are using out in their environments. So those clients have locally connected or even network connected printers, but from their client machines. And then as they connect into the service provided in the cloud, those client printers are automatically built through screwdrivers and optimized for the quickest and most simple printing path from the remote session down to those clients. So in some ways, this is kind of a simple scenario as far as just that point-to-point, but for healthcare providers like this and other environments, to have that consistency and have it work reliably every time is a huge gain and something that they saw great benefits from. Our next thing would be print server printing. This is a common scenario where environments already have print servers in their environment, and we can add an agent onto that print server, import those printers into our Simplify console, and then have a quick and easy way to manage those printers by assigning them out to users, devices, network locations, that sort of thing. So it's a very robust solution for print servers. We talked about the optimization. So on those print servers, it can be improved as far as the performance of the print servers because we're now managing the print flow through there. So even from traditional Windows-based network printing, you're still going to see advantages just with the performance of printing through there. And of course, a self-service option as well we mentioned before of users being able to add printers on their own. So let's take a scenario here. This is another healthcare environment, a large hospital, and they need to manage printers to all endpoint. It's a mix of physical desktops that they have, but then also thin client IGEL OS clients that are connecting into VMware VDI environments in this particular one. And so adding in a central management solution that can manage printing across that mix of technologies, and then also having that kind of server-based printing, so that no matter where a doctor or nurse or administrator walks up to and logs into that IGEL OS, they're going to get the right printers for their environment. And this is a quick little demo to show just how that's done. This is the very simple setup, but this is our Simplify console. I can see over on the left side, I can see the Active Directory that was read in. That shows all my OUs, users, and groups I can assign to anything in that Active Directory. And then I can also see computers, network locations. IGEL clients would be in here where I can put them in groups, or I can put the name of the IGEL client, and so I can assign straight to an IGEL client for someone logging in. You can see I have my print server installed and printers in here. I drag and drop over, and just like that, I've now made an assignment to the entire domain for anyone logging in to get that printer. I can pick a group, this demo user. I can see I have the printer assigned to my domain, and then also the printer assigned to that group. And so just like that, a quick drag and drop operation, very simple, very easy for anyone to come in here, see and assign printers out to users. And now based on who they are, what device they're on, and where they're connecting from, they get the right printers for that situation, for that user. Very quick and very easy. Another quick demonstration here. This is showing those advanced print features that we talked about earlier. So this is my client view. I've logged into a Windows 10 VDI. I can quickly open the devices and printers and see I've gotten these couple printers. It's a screwdriver's driver. But I look at the properties, and you saw very briefly the streaming of the UI, and now I can see finishing features, print and hold. I can put pin code printing in here. I get all the features of that Lexmark driver, although it's using our screwdriver's virtual driver. I'm going to click here on the Xerox driver. Again, I can see different print options. I'm seeing all the features from that printer, but I'm logging into a Windows 10 VDI session and everything is already here in that image as far as our screwdriver's virtual driver. As you can see here, those other drivers aren't installed. So the login process is optimized and we're managing that full print process from the client out to that printer. Mobile is a new thing for us in a certain aspect. Tricerat has had over the last few years a separate mobile printing product that worked with iOS and Android. We're integrating that into our simplified printing product and into that console. Actually, we're coming out with version 7 of that this year, and that's going to integrate in the mobile print technology. So what that means is that where we are just looking at print server printers, all of those printers that are already in my environment using this mobile gateway can now be assigned and distributed out to users on mobile devices. So that might be users that are connecting into a virtual desktop from a mobile device, or it could be a native app running on that phone or tablet. And so we're going to deliver those printers so that they look like native printers for that platform. So an iOS printer or an Android printer, and then a user based on whether they're using a local mobile app or something delivered from a remote desktop platform can have those same print resources delivered based on those applications. So a scenario, a physician's office where a doctor, they've started transitioning and have some things on iPads, it can now seamlessly print across these devices. So whether they're connecting to a VDI session from an IGEL client or connecting from an iPad or might have a physical desktop, we can deliver a seamless print environment across those things using simplified printing in our simplified console. Now, we talked earlier about times where maybe the virtual driver isn't the best case. Certainly, anytime we're talking about VDI, cloud, remote desktop, the virtual driver is absolutely the best possible solution for those environments for the advantages of being able to dynamically configure itself and maximize the log-on performance. But there are cases where you might have a physical desktop or you might have a remote environment that doesn't have a print server and you need to keep the print traffic local to that environment. So we do have a way to manage those kind of direct IP print paths through here by adding the native driver into the database and manage the native driver in addition to any virtual drivers that you have. So again, a healthcare solution, in this case, there are remote offices out there that don't have print servers. They have those desktops out there, and so they need to manage both virtual desktop printing in their backend system, but then they also need to manage physical desktop printing out at these remote offices. And using our management console, they can manage both of those things in a consistent way for their VDI and for their physical desktops, choosing the best possible technology for each one of those jobs. This is a screenshot showing, you saw earlier the simplified console. And so in this case, we have a managed printers tab where we can bring in 32-bit and 64-bit drivers, assign the IP address. Very simple. The driver is imported in the database and then distributed from there. So one of those key features earlier was talking about complete driver management. And just like the virtual driver makes it where you don't have to manage drivers anywhere, this is also something where one time you get the driver in there and you don't have to worry about getting it out further. If you update the driver version, again, we just import the new version, you see the version update in here, and from there on, all clients automatically then get that latest driver distributed to them. So whether we're talking about native driver management or virtual driver management, either way, we're taking care of that full set of driver management across the environment. And then finally, let's talk cloud. Certainly IGEL is seeing connectivity options up into cloud desktops, and that's a hot topic these days as far as having a hybrid environment of desktops running locally and also in the cloud. We have a print proxy so that we can install a component both on the cloud side and on the on-prem side that will automatically build communication between the two. I mean, printing is naturally a hybrid thing. Even if you have a cloud version, a cloud desktop running, you have to have something physically local because that's where I want to pick up my paper. Having a cloud printer really doesn't make any sense. I need to have it here where I can pick it up and use it. And so having those printers build in that remote session isn't really that much of a difference. It's still a Windows 10 desktop. You're still installing and managing the same things. All of our products work just the same up in a cloud desktop as they would on-prem. The trick, of course, is dealing with that communication gateway. And so this print server proxy takes the hassle out of that. You don't have to modify anything on the local firewall. You just have a port up in the cloud, and then the two components talk to each other and manage getting those print jobs down to the on-prem environment. So with this diagram, a user is connecting, in this case, to WVD in Azure. Desktop's delivered there with one of our Screwdriver's printers. A user prints to it. It prints through the print proxy in the Azure cloud down to the on-prem and then out to a local physical printer. So again, with our print server technology, that's all in there with the print server proxy, with the integration into the IGEL OS, even if it's a client-connected printer and you're connecting into a cloud desktop, it's the same type of configuration where we can now enable those local printers to show up seamlessly into your cloud sessions. So just to kind of recap a little bit, these are some of the advantages of having this print management solution into your environment. Certainly, we offer the premier virtual driver in the industry. So to take advantage of all those capabilities of a virtual driver, easy configuration, easy management, dynamic configuration based on the user and the device and the location, and having everything there and ready to go to make those login processes as optimized as possible. Even if a user adds a printer mid-session through our self-service portal, again, that's very quick. They add the printer, they have what they need, that printer shows up in their desktop very quickly. And then these other points are talking about those ways to manage across different types of environments between virtual or native drivers, or hybrid on-prem and in the cloud, or even different types of printing between client printing, print server, direct IP, mobile. All these things can be managed seamlessly through our console, and then it provides a very consistent interface to your users because they're consuming your resources in different ways. And so to have a consistent way for the print resources to be layered on top of that really offers them ease of use and maximized productivity. All right, so we've touched a little bit on our work together with IGEL. Certainly, we're working in the same space with EUC and delivering optimized and very simple management solutions for these type of environments. We talked about mapping printers based on those IGEL endpoints. In our Simplify console, they can be added in as clients and have printers assigned based on that IGEL information, in addition to who the user is in the Active Directory and what network segment they're coming from. And it's really just managing those session printers, connecting from the IGEL client into those remote desktops, wherever it might be, and whatever platform it's running on, to really combine to make a complete management solution. And we talked about certainly all backend printing with network printing, be it print server or direct IP, works great today, and we are actively working and will be soon integrated into that IGEL OS for full local client printing in there as well. And so very soon that will be that last piece in there, and full connectivity and management options with both IGEL and Tricerat combined in the environment. So that kind of covers our high-level overview of our products and our company, and certainly how we work together in the space to really deliver that optimized solution. Doug, anything you want to add onto these ideas?
Yeah, I love the IGEL Tricerat piece, of course. And what I find neat is, your existing customers or just any, buddy using a solution, using your solution, can continue to use it. In just now, you can also deploy the IGEL OS anywhere, right? So it's one management tool as we talk about deploying and supporting our devices, but within the printer endpoint management piece, it's the same thing. So to you, it doesn't matter if it's a Windows device or an IGEL OS device, right? So it just it allows for that ease to extend into sort of that modern operating system, and maybe even possibly away from Windows a little bit easier too. right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, traditionally over the years, we've had a lot of joint customers and joint partners that work with both companies. So this is just really extending that even further, and we're certainly excited about it and working with IGEL and like you said, kind of that last piece in there to really for all possible scenarios to be covered. And we've had customers coming to us that have really pushed this and requested it, and so it was really a easy step to take to say yes, this is something that we want to partner with and do. And it's exciting to see the environments that really can leverage these two technologies, among others in that stack, to really enhance that offering of delivering, whether we're talking cloud or local VDI or whatever platform you're choosing to really to leverage that to its full potential.
I totally agree with you. And from the IGEL side, and definitely my perspective is it's great to have leading vendors like yourself, like Tricerat within our ecosystem. So it's just to us it's a wonderful partnership.
Yeah, us too. And so we've got a lot of great things we're looking forward to. I mentioned our version 7 coming out. It's got some updated management UIs, some other features being put in there. Of course, the mobile printing, among others, auditing and reporting support. There's a pretty long list of features. So there's a lot of new things coming out from our end. And then, of course, integration with IGEL is a very exciting thing as well. So it's really a great, as we're starting the summer here and looking forward through the end of 2019, it's really exciting to look at these possibilities moving forward, and certainly the value add that we're providing our customers now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anything else, Andrew?
No, I think that pretty well covers it. Again, just wanted to kind of keep it at a high level. This is something that's fairly easy to take a look at. Certainly, a first step could be an online demo with one of our solutions engineers, where we can show you a little more in depth how the product works and talk about it specifically for your environment. Certainly, www.tricerat.com has information from the Tricerat side, and there's some things in there about our partnership with IGEL. But then taking the next step into like a POC, we talked about how it layers into an existing environment. So it's fairly simple to get those initial pieces installed and see firsthand the benefits that it has, how easy it is to add printers into into whatever platform you're using, and then expand from there. So, I think that would be kind of my takeaway for as we wrap this up of finding out more information and then ways to really consider how you can realize those time savings. How much are you spending on printing between your administrators, from your help desk, your users, and ways that we can optimize that to really deliver time savings in those different arenas.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, if you have thank you so much, Andrew. Guys, if you have any questions, please use the questions piece to go to webinar, and we'll answer them. If not, I was going to end up saying, if somebody wants to learn more, what do they need to do? But you just answered that question. You're one step ahead of me. That was great. I'm thinking to myself, well, that's great. So we have no questions. I mean, it was a very straightforward. I loved it. Just smooth as silk. So I love what you guys do. Like I said, you've been in this space since day one, really within the Citrix world, and it's long-standing, very solid product. So again, from the Doug Brown IGEL guy, really, really happy to have you as part of our ecosystem. So thanks so much. And thank you for doing this. Yeah, thanks for doing this webinar with us. So if there's no questions, let's just call this episode and get on with our days. For me, it's 5:30, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get out of this office and go home.
All right, Doug. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining this IGEL Community webinar with Tricerat today. If you enjoyed it, please let us know. If you have any suggestions for future webinars, please let us know. And please join the IGEL community, join.igelcommunity.com. And on that note, I'll just say have a nice day. So have a great day, Andrew, and have a great day, everybody else.